The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You could be driving.
Happy Honda Days are back for the most wonderful time of the year at Team Honda. The savings are high on every new Honda. And with our Buy Here, Sell Here program, you'll get top value for your trade. Happy Honda Days from Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
As we start the week after Christmas edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here's hoping that St. Nick was good to you and yours, and for our friends that are not of the persuasion of faith, here's hoping that your holiday was a good one as we round out the first year. Sadly, we start today's show talking about the fact that even though the holidays are upon us, the homicide rates all across America, and particularly here in South Louisiana, continue unabated. You know, I guess you can't blame an old fellow for wishful thinking, but I went into Christmas Eve hoping that the population at large, hello, thank you, Marty, would go out of their way to give at least a little respite to the killing of our fellow Louisianians during this most sacred time of year. It didn't take long to find out that that wish would go unfulfilled. Christmas Day shooting in Baton Rouge. Christmas Eve shooting in Baton Rouge. The day after Christmas, another homicide in Baton Rouge. And we are steadily adding to the record-setting homicide count in our city. As tragic as these shootings were, the one in New Orleans that really caught my eye and left a wound in my spirit was the incident involving the mother with 3 children in her car, and someone saw fit to open fire on the vehicle, leaving her 7-year-old daughter dead. I can't begin to imagine what it's like for a parent to have to bury a child. But this time of year, of all times, the other 2 siblings, the mother And the rest of that family, for the rest of their lives, will never look at Christmas the same again. All because some, and I got to be careful and not say what I really feel because it might come out wrong, to think that some selfish individual would care so little about the value of human life this time of year is unsettling. It says a lot about what we've become as a society and what we as a community allow to continue to happen. It has gotten to the point now where it's almost routine. Now, I will leave to you to decide what that says about us. But at the end of the day, there are certain things that happen in life that are within our control. There are certain things that are outside of our control. And many of us, particularly us older Americans, have come to the realization that there are certain things that I can do, certain things that I cannot do. And that's a reasonable approach to life. But the fact of the matter is, guys and girls, this is something that is totally within our control. And I've got to imagine that, as is the case so many times, law enforcement will find itself literally begging the public for help. If you know anything at all about any of these homicides, I am begging you to do the right thing. At the rate we're going right now, I understand that in some neighborhoods, there is still the prevalence of the no snitch mentality. But you do realize, do you not, that if you subscribe to that theory, the next time, and at the rate we're going, there definitely will be a next time. The next time, it might be you or your child. At what point do we as a community get sick and tired of being sick and tired and stand up and demand better? At this point, the old adage that comes to mind, the inmates are running the asylum. And you can take that literally or figuratively. That's up to you. But when all is said and done, I don't care what the rationale is. There is no way on God's green earth that a 7-year-old did anything to warrant losing their life in a freaking drive-by. I guess the right person's loved one hasn't been killed yet. And what a sad commentary that is. Speaking of, guys and girls, things that are within our control and things that are outside of our control, I noticed 4 accidents over the Christmas holiday, automobile accidents, where individuals lost their lives, and none of the 4 were properly restrained. Again, there are things outside of our control, our fellow Louisiana drivers, and there are things within our control, making sure we're properly restrained, obeying the rules of the road when we're behind the wheel. to lose a life because an individual, for whatever reason, Clarence, I don't want the government telling me what I have to do when I'm in my car. Well, do it for the sake of your family. 4 families of our fellow Louisianians, instead of looking forward to celebrating the new year, are planning a funeral for something as mundane as putting on your seatbelt. Listen, y'all, as a conservative, I, like you, want the least amount of government intrusion in my life. But I will tell you this, if you have ever been in a serious automobile accident, you don't need anybody to tell you to put that seatbelt on. If you've ever, at 50, 60 miles an hour, collided with another 2,000 plus pound vehicle, you don't need anybody to tell you it's in your best interest to put that seatbelt on. Sadly, for many of you, you've never been in that situation before. And all it takes is one time, y'all. That's all it takes. And you know, understanding the way many of our fellow Louisianians drive, that should be the first thing on your mind. Protecting yourselves from our fellow drivers who pay no attention to the rules of the road, who won't obey the speed limit, who don't understand that there's a certain thing called the correct following distance, using your signal lights, you know, the stuff that y'all had to pass a test to get a license for. And yet, after all the public service announcements, after all the thousands of our fellow Louisianians who have died on our roadways, we still get in our vehicles after having too much to drink. We still get in our vehicles and won't properly restrain ourselves. Our condolences to the families of all the individuals involved. And it's just a sad commentary that so many, instead of looking forward to celebrating the new year, are in the process of planning a funeral. When all is said and done, guys and girls, we're supposed to be better than this. Again, there are things that are within our control and things that aren't. Let's just make sure that we take care of the ones we can take care of. We're heading into the first break of today's show. It is, of course, Tuesday, and this will be the second segment. So when we come back, that's right, we start the countdown to the end of the year and start with another edition of, now that's just stupid. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bellello's Furniture and Appliances. Your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. It is, of course, Tuesday and the second segment. And for those of you that are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, we have instituted a new segment in response to the ever-growing, rapidly expanding level of stupidity in our country. Now, be advised, we're not talking run-of-the-mill, ordinary, everyday, stupid. That would be just, your garden variety stupid. What we're talking about here requires its own spelling. STOOPID, as in, now that's just stupid. We start, ironically enough, with the federal government. Say it ain't so, Clarence. Oh, yeah, it's so. We start with the Internal Revenue Service. Publication number 17 on the IRS website has a lot of people scratching their heads. Here's what it says, and I quote, "If you steal property, you must report its fair market value on your income in the year you steal it, unless you return it to its rightful owner in the same year." End of quote. So let me get this straight. I, as a member of the criminal enterprises, and I steal someone's property, I have to be sure to do one of two things. Either when I'm doing my taxes, I report that I stole this income and it has a fair market value estimated at, you fill in the blank here, for the property you stole, or I got to be sure that I hurry up and give it back before the end of the year. It might be funny if it weren't so freaking stupid. Are you kidding me? The criminal element now, according to the IRS, needs to sit down and weigh their options. Okay, on the one hand, I can give the stuff that I stole back to the rightful owner and everything's fine. Or I can put it down on the income statement as income. Never mind the fact that I will be incriminating myself. Never mind the fact that the IRS, being in touch with law enforcement, is probably going to let, using the vernacular of the streets, the po-po know that so-and-so stole this property. But you expect me, in filling out my taxes, to report it. You know, for a guy who, for the better part of 4 decades, has made his living with words, this is one of those where only one word would suffice. Stupid. I really want to see how many people are going to take the IRS up on this. Now, it's one thing for a federal agency to be this freaking stupid. But you know, conventional wisdom says if they put it there, somebody's probably going to abide by it. God, I hope I get to find out who that person is. I don't ask, dear God above, I don't ask you for much. But please let me find out who this person is that actually refers this to the IRS. That way I'll already know who will start off next year's edition of. Now that's just stupid. Speaking of stupid and the federal government, this one is probably maybe a top 3 of all the stupidity that we've seen in this country. Leave it to the Biden-Harris administration to screw up a fairy tale. You know, I was sitting there thinking when I saw this story, okay, they screwed up the Omicron response. That's the kind of tough technical issue, so you maybe give them a little bit of a break. They screwed up the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Logistically, could have been a nightmare. Maybe we give them a little bit of a pass. They screwed up the situation at the border. Millions of people walking across our border, setting up residency illegally, screwed that up. Supply chain crisis, screwed that up. Inflation, screwed that up. Crime, screwed that up. So you're left thinking, if there's one thing left that you could say, well, they can't screw this up, it would be a fairy tale like Santa Claus. Leave it to this administration. Someone thought, you know what would be a great idea? Let's get President Biden to get on the phone and randomly call a household in America and let him interview the parents and the children about Christmas and Santa Claus. Oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? So for those of you that hadn't seen the story, you're familiar with the Let's Go Brandon viral chant that's taken over in the wake of Brandon Brown's NASCAR victory and the pathetic attempt by an NBC reporter to cover up what the crowd was actually saying. Suffice it to say, Let's Go Brandon is the new FJB. So, apparently the White House said, you know what, this would be a great idea. Now, they call up the dad, they interview the dad, they then talk to the children, then the phone gets passed back to the dad. At the end of the interview, the father says, well, I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas and let's go, Brandon. Oh, it gets worse. It gets much worse. Joe Biden's response, I agree, let's go, Brandon. Now, I don't blame Joe Biden. I don't blame him because I have known, as you well should have for quite some time now, Joe Biden does not have a clue what is going on around him. I don't blame Joe. I blame his handlers, who in their right mind thought it would be a good idea to put a guy on a live microphone that may say anything to anybody about anything at any moment. Who in their right mind thought this would be a good idea? Secondly, you've built a fake White House across the street from the White House. Y'all didn't know about this? They've built a fake White House where they can hold press conferences, make addresses, looks just like the real White House, but they can control this one, okay? There's a little thing called a delay. Radio stations, TV stations, when they interview their viewers or their listeners, there's a little box about so by so. The signal goes into the box, and you decide how many seconds of delay there will be before your listeners or your viewers will see or hear what's going on. Who in their right mind thought it would be okay to put a guy on a live mic without a delay system that may say anything about anything to anybody at any given moment? Thirdly, all you have to do is look at your freaking poll numbers. All you have to do is look at how many polls have you underwater. All you got to do is realize, whoa, America is seriously dissatisfied with the job we're doing. And if we put him on a live microphone, there is the distinct possibility the person we're interviewing, they're going to tell us what a horrible job we're doing. And yet, they saw fit to do it anyway. Leave it to the Biden-Harris administration to screw up a freaking fairy tale. And they will have you believe more of my fellow Americans voted for this guy than any person in the history of this nation. If you believe that, I've got a beachfront mountaintop chalet in Alexandria, Louisiana that I'll let you have real cheap. Oh, Marty just bought it. Too late. Putting Joe Biden unfiltered with no delay on a live interview, that, my friends, is flat out stupid. But it doesn't stop there. After this bottom of the hour break, the disconnect It's not just on the federal level. We'll talk about that as we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You've waited, and now Toyotathon is here at Team Toyota. Every new Toyota is on sale with end-of-year savings. And with our Buy Here, Sell Here program, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade. The selection and savings are right here for you at Team Toyota, I-12 and O'Neill.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You all right, bro? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Just checking on you. Don't ever want you to think that. Well, you know where that's going, right? You know, I have over the years come to the realization, and you've heard me say this God knows how many times. Don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do. Particularly as it pertains to Democrats / liberals / progressives, and what is arguably the most loyal part of the Democrat Party's base, African Americans. They will tell at every opportunity people of color how white supremacy is the greatest threat to this country and how people of color have to be constantly on their guard to help eliminate racism and the whole 9 yards. You've heard it ad nauseum. But again, I tell you, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. For example, Lori Lightfoot, mayor of the city of Chicago, is now begging the Biden administration for federal help in combating the homicide and crime problem in the city of Chicago. Now, everybody knows by now the crime problem in Chicago, and particularly the homicide rates. What you may have forgotten, and if you still worship at the altar of the mainstream media, you may not have ever heard, 15 months ago, then President Donald J. Trump saw what was happening in Chicago and took it upon himself to call the mayor and say, Mayor Lightfoot, this is President Trump here. I see y'all are having some serious problems with homicide and crime in Chicago. I have some resources at my disposal that I will gladly give to you so that you can help the residents of your city. And you do realize the majority of the residents of the city of Chicago look just like me. So 15 months ago, Donald J. Trump said, Mayor Lightfoot, let me send you some help. What did she say? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Quote, what we do not need, and what will certainly make our community less safe, is secret federal agents deployed to Chicago. Please stop with the rhetoric and find the moral courage to simply support the needed actions listed above. Enact common sense gun laws, like the criminals in Chicago murdering folks in drive-bys are going to abide by common sense gun laws. But I digress. Partner with our law enforcement actors through providing investigative resources, deliver on community-based resources for public safety, and invest in our neighborhoods and residents. Excuse me, Mayor Lightfoot, that's your job. It's not the federal government's job to invest in your city. That's your job. But what I want to know is, since you so vociferously attacked Donald J. Trump for offering to help your crime-ridden city, how many black folk did you let die before you decide now to go begging the federal government for help? You realize how many black folk over this 15-month span could have been saved had Lori Lightfoot not been so freaking busy playing politics, trying to make conservatives and Donald Trump look bad. She turned down federal help and crime. Well, you know what happened after that, right? Record-setting number of homicides. But she's a Democrat, a black woman. And as we all know, it's them evil conservatives that black folks got to be on the watch for. Yes, Lord. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Now, you tell Lori Lightfoot, the people whose families are in mourning over the last 15 months because you turned down federal help to deal with the crime problem in your city. You tell them a good reason for turning down the help from Donald Trump that you're now begging from Joe Biden. I would imagine, and I don't know any of these people, but I would imagine every single victim's family in Chicago who could have benefited from the help that Donald Trump was offering, ask them how they feel about you turning down his help. Of course, now, it's not the only time that Democrats have shown us in no uncertain terms that they are completely out of touch with America. Vice President Kamala Harris last week comes out and plays both cards, the race card and the gender card. Kamala Harris comes out and says, well, the reason I'm getting negative publicity from the media is because I'm a person of color and a woman. Well, let's look at that, shall we? Kamala Harris is a Democrat, big-time liberal. And correct me if I'm wrong here, 95% of the media are liberals. They, the liberals, are Democrats. So if Kamala Harris is getting negative publicity from the media because of the color of her skin, and 95% of the media are Democrats, who are the real racists here? Kamala Harris says, I'm getting all this negative publicity because I'm a woman. Okay, same thing. The negative publicity you're getting comes from the media, which, by the way, is overwhelmingly liberal and Democrat. So are you telling us Democrats hate women? According to Kamala Harris, according to her, yep. But, you know, it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Kamala Harris, like Joe Biden, hadn't done a damn thing to improve the lives of everyday Americans since taking office. Has anybody heard Kamala Harris's plan after visiting Central America to find out the root causes of illegal immigration? Has anybody heard any plan from her office to fix it? I'll help you out. You haven't. You know why? Because it isn't one. The president of, it's either Honduras or Guatemala, said, yeah, she came down and visited. We had a good discussion. Have you talked to her since then? Nope. You mean she hasn't even called you? Nope. Hadn't heard a beep out of her. But she's working hard to fix the problem. Maybe, Madam Vice President, and this could be a stretch, maybe, just maybe, it's because you hadn't done squat. You know what's really, what is the ultimate irony of ironies here? Kamala Harris says her negative publicity is due to the fact that she's a woman of color. Remember the debates the Democrats had where they were trying to decide who we want to run against Donald J. Trump? Remember the presidential debates on the Democrat side? Remember Kamala Harris saying, Joe Biden, I was that girl that couldn't get on the bus and go to the school I wanted to go. Are you a racist? Kamala Harris questioned whether Joe Biden was a racist. And yet, she chose to be his running mate. Irony of ironies. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Final break of today's show. Speaking of busting a narrative, we'll talk about that when we come back and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. I would like to beseech the help of my fellow Americans who reside on the opposite side of the political aisle. I make no bones about the fact that I'm a conservative. I am as conservative as the day is long. I am who I am. I make no bones about it, nor will I ever apologize for it. It is what it is. But I would seek help from my fellow Americans who identify as liberals, Democrats. Y'all do realize the things that are being done in your name. See, the politicians have figured out if we divide them enough, pit them against each other, we can do all sorts of things that people in our own party don't agree with. But we can do it in their name because we've ginned them up to the point of hating the other side so bad that we can get away with just about anything. In recent memory, the lunacy in this country has approached epidemic proportions. For as long as the human species has been in existence, we've all known there are two genders. There's male and female. Einstein, Sir Isaac Newton, go down the list. Brightest minds on the planet. We all agree. There's male and female. But the liberals will have you think that, what's the last count, Marty? 63 genders? At last count, I saw some idiot trying to convince Americans there are 63 different genders. And of course, we all now know from the left, a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. This is being done in your name, Democrats. The funny thing, y'all don't agree with this. I know you don't. And Rasmussen, the polling organization, they know it too. Recent Rasmussen poll released just yesterday. Simple question, very blunt, straight, and to the point. Quote, do you agree or disagree with this statement? There are two genders, male and female. 75% said, it's not but two, bruh. It's male and female. But as a Democrat, in your name, they will attempt to shove down the throats of our school-aged children and any other person who will listen that there's more than just two genders. Now, to show you how they play you, the LGBTQ community always loves to hitch their wagon to this star. Well, we're just like black people. We were born that way. We can't do anything about it. We can't change it. Well, there's a crack in the armor. Rasmussen, in carrying out this poll, also said, you know what? The LGBTQ community, they're always trying to hitch their wagon to the star of people of color, saying, well, you were born black, I was born this way, I was born a different gender, everything's fine. Well, not when you ask black people. Rasmussen then conducted another poll. 90% of African Americans say, oh no, bruh, ain't but two. Black folk, get ready. LGBTQ, they coming for you. You're a science denier. 90% of black folks said, no, bruh, you should have paid attention in biology class. It ain't but two. And yet, they will push this crap down the throats of our children in commercials on television, in movies, in music. They will shove it down our throats, and they will do it in your name. You all, Democrats, are the reason we have a freaking dude swimming against women in women's athletics. You all, Democrats, are the ones who have us believing there's 63 gender. And they're doing it in your name. Just so you know, when you get tired of this foolishness, when you get to the point where you say, you know what? These people have lost their ever-loving minds. Come to the light, my brother. We got room for you. Come to the light. Get away from the insanity. Put away the foolishness. And more important, stop letting people push this kind of crap in your name. Of course, now, that's also why the media does what the media does. Gonna run cover for it. And you have no better sense than to still vote Democrat. You realize it's not going to be long, y'all, when you will open up the record books for the National Collegiate Athletic Association, the NC2A. You will look before long at the record book for women's swimming, and every single name is going to be a dude. And it will have been done in your name, Democrats. Come back to the light. Come back to the light. We got room for you on the other side. A lot of people with common sense. A lot of people that believe in personal responsibility and accountability. A lot of people that want nothing more from government than to keep your grubby little fingers out of my pocket. Some of y'all won't get that till later, but that's okay, long as you get it. Time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. Ooh, this is gonna be a quick one. This day, just like any other, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect, but for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Best news you gonna get all day. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.